Elder Scrolls Oblivion happens to be one of my all-time favorite games. It's a more stripped-down, streamlined Morrowind. Morrowind is amazing, but I personally enjoyed all the changes made to Oblivion. It made these types of games more enjoyable, at least to me. They added fast travel, less reading, and more voice acting.
Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard the thieves broke into the Arcane University.
Easier direction on where your quests are. I personally liked it better. Now, time to get back on track. Oblivion is a single-player role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Take-Two Interactive. It was released in March 2006 for the Microsoft Xbox 360 and Windows computers. A full year later, it was released to the PlayStation 3. Oblivion is the fourth installment in the Elder Scrolls series. Development began in 2002, pretty much right after the release of Morrowind. As stated earlier, they wanted a more streamlined game, something a more casual gamer could pick up and play. Also, this will be the first time an Elder Scrolls game will be released on multiple consoles, as Morrowind was only on the original Xbox and PC. This time around, it was available for PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and almost the PSP. That's right, I said PlayStation Portable. The game was announced in the November 2006 edition of the official PlayStation magazine. It was planned to lack the free-roaming gameplay usually associated with the Elder Scrolls series. According to Todd Howard, the guy everybody loves to hate, the game would have featured 10 large levels that looked much like areas in the console versions, but more concentrated. This port of Oblivion was even available for pre-order, which of course everyone got their money back. Because, it was never released. And Bethesda has never given any official reason for its cancellation or even official confirmation that the game was even cancelled. It wasn't until May 17th, 2017 that copies of a beta build of the game was leaked online, and then at that point everyone could see the game for themselves. And it's actually not that bad, it's pretty fun. By September 2004, Oblivion for PC and 360 had been officially announced, and its title revealed. During one of these revealed events, it was shown that Oblivion would focus more on realistic storyline, believable characters, more engaging quests, and the game would feature improved artificial intelligence thanks to the use of Bethesda's Radiant AI software, which had more or less mixed results.
Greetings, Evoker.
How goes it?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Great.
So long.
Be seeing you. Greetings, wizard.
Well met.
Something I can do for you?
Basically, the AI were designed to make their own choices, such as eating, sleeping, or even beating a dog.
I said Mommy is reading.
Oblivion features an open world that is around 26 square miles. Yes, I said miles. Around 200 dungeons to explore, 9 massive cities, and many smaller towns. There are 10 races to choose from with 21 different skills. And one hell of an epic soundtrack. Upon its release, Oblivion was received with universal acclaim from critics and became a commercial success. The game had shipped 1.7 million copies by April 10, 2006, and sold over 3 million copies by January 2007.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
Initially, the game was rated T for teen, but was later changed to M for mature because there was a locked out file in the PC version of the game that would allow the user to play the game with topless versions of the female characters. On November 21st, 2006, the Elder Scrolls Knights of the Nine expansion for Oblivion was officially released. You could buy it in retail stores for the PC or download it for the 360 on the Xbox Marketplace. This expansion came included with the original PS3 version. It was a fun addition to the game, but didn't add that much content. Then on March 27, 2007, the Elder Scrolls Shivering Isles was released, and man did I love this expansion. It added over 30 more hours of content, such as quests and a whole new land to explore. You got all new voice acting, monsters, spells, and armor. A huge departure from the normal gameplay, but extremely fun. Once the Xbox One X came to the scene, Microsoft started allowing backwards compatibility to certain Xbox 360 games, and they would enhance them to 4K and sharper visuals. Oblivion was one of these games, and it's a huge improvement. Couple things to note. The 360 version of the game was being developed before Bethesda even knew the final specs of the Xbox 360. They ultimately had to guess and didn't get development kits until a few months before the launch of the system. So with that being said, the 360 version wasn't made to its full potential. The loading times on the Xbox 360 do suck pretty bad, and in some cases they can be outright forever. The PS3 is much faster to load, mainly due to the Blu-ray drive. The resolution for Oblivion on Xbox 360 was 720p, and on PlayStation 3 it's also 720p. On PC, well, it could be virtually anything, all the way up to 8K. But what I've done for this side-by-side is I built a common 2007 gaming PC to add to this comparison. The specs are 3.0 GHz Pentium 4 CPU, 3GB DDR2 RAM, a GeForce 8600 GT DDR2 1GB graphics card, and I was able to get smooth frame rates from medium-high settings at 720p resolution. Before we compare the graphics, please subscribe to this channel and share this video. The more views I get, the more content I can create. Thanks for being awesome. Looking at the frame rate, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 are about equal. They tend to stick around 25 to 30 frames. Both get some big dips whenever a pop-in occurs. When in the city, the PlayStation 3 is a little bit better, but only by like 2 or 3 frames. On Windows 10, I mostly get 60 frames, with very few drops. The Xbox One X is 30 frames locked. It never drops or goes higher. The modded game, I do get more dips, but I replaced all the textures with 2K ones. It's more resource intensive. And finally, playing on my Windows XP gaming PC, the game sticks to the mid 30s to 20s when outdoors, but mostly 30 frames, and while in the city, it's between 40 to 30 frames. As mentioned earlier, Oblivion was being created for the PlayStation Portable, and the game was broken up into sections with cities being like hubs. It isn't open world, but all the elements are there. You start off in jail, talk to some guy, not the same guy, but a guy. You have the same inventory system, and you get to fight in epic battles just like the big boy versions. You can explore dungeons, caves, and wilderness, and even go deep into Oblivion gates. Let the guards tell you stories of old.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
And even explore towns and talk with the citizens. They may be a bit grumpy though. I want to start comparing the graphics with the 360 and PS3. In all versions, I started the day at 10:30 a.m. So with that being said, one thing I noticed right away is that the PlayStation 3 offers more detail in the docks. And the grass detail in the mountains is better as well. As we walk down the dock, we see the aliasing seems to be about the same on both. The PlayStation 3 seems to offer better color and contrast, as well as it has better detail in the mountains across the water. Both games offer some sweet water detail though. The shadows on the PS3 look a bit better also. On the 360 they are very soft and hard to see. Looking at this wood pillar, the PlayStation is showing sharper visuals. Let's bring in the Windows XP PC build I have that was an average gaming PC in 2007. The game is running around medium to high settings. I was able to get a far draw distance on the PC, and as you can notice, the rocks on my Windows XP are visible, and on the PS3 and 360 they appear as you get closer to them. And since I turned on 2x anti-aliasing, the PC does look better in that regard. It has less jaggies everywhere. These three rocks still haven't appeared on the console versions. Also, the PS3 seems to have better grass detail than the PC. And something else I saw is that this wall on the Windows XP is missing from 360 and PS3. Here is an order of quality as I see it from worst to best. 360, Windows XP, PS3. Here's why. We already established that the grass and mountains look better on PS3 versus 360, but it also has more detail than the Windows XP version. I had to enable limited shadows on PC because the shadows from the trees really killed my performance. If I disabled my anti-aliasing, I could have had the shadows like the 360, but I personally prefer less jagged edges, as seeing bad aliasing bugs me. But those PS3 shadows do look real nice though. I will bring in Windows 10, a modern gaming PC with no mods. I will go back to the beginning each time I bring in a new version, but once they are all together, we will start exploring the world. The dock on the Windows 10 is super nice, but the PS3's dock isn't too far off actually. You do get better details across the water too, but again, the PS3 isn't too far off. First off, a beautiful shot here. Now, let's zoom in on a particular spot I want to show you. This sewer entrance. The mountain on the 360 looks like it's a PS1 game. Same with the Windows XP, but at least XP has better draw distance. You get to see those lovely rocks. The PS3 has the same exact draw distance as the 360, but those black dots help make the mountains look better, which is what the max settings Windows 10 PC does. It uses the black dots too. But also, the max draw distance shows off a lot more detail. Moving a little bit to the right, the 360 has a white dotted line going across the ocean. One cool thing I see here is that on max settings, the mountain in the far background, you can see some trees. This really adds to the scenery. All versions minus the 360 have this far building reflecting light. The 360's building is just very dark. Bringing the modded version into the mix, the dock's texture is completely redone, but pretty much every texture in this game has been redone. For the modded PC, I installed 165 mods, and one of them was depth of field, which is why the far background is blurry. This is a personal preference, and I like it. Also, one of my favorite mods is the one that removes the obvious repeat textures, like in the sand. It's hard to see, but it's there. I also added more grass, because I like grass. To get a better look at the mod, let's compare it with Windows 10 stock version since they are both at max settings. One mod will give you some improved shadows, a small thing, but it does really immerse you more into the game. One of my favorite texture replacements is this gazebo pillar thing. It looks so much better, but I know some people prefer the vanilla. I just like this new one. The water also has been enhanced. This is just the reflection right now. At first glance, you might say the vanilla is better, but the vanilla went with an exaggerated approach on the ripples, as the water would be more calm like the modded version. The reflection of the building definitely looks better too. Bringing in the Xbox One X version, we do see that they were able to enhance the aliasing and sharpness of the game. The draw distance is the same though. Like those rocks you see on the Windows version still don't appear until you get closer. But if we zoom in, we can see that the arches are very smooth, no jagged edges at all. Looking at the 360, we see that the edges are a lot better than the PS3's building parts. On the PlayStation, there's a lot of aliasing. The One X even looks better than the Windows XP with anti-aliasing ×2 enabled. Also, since the One X is 4K, it looks really good even when zoomed in. The PC can do this too, even up to 8K, but I only captured my PC footage at 1080p. Another thing to note is on the One X, I didn't add any extra detail to the far distance grass, so it's still all smooth looking. Comparing the 360 and Xbox One X, since they are the same exact version, the far trees on the One X look so much nicer instead of this blurry mess. You can actually see the individual leaves. On this zoomed in scene, the individual bricks on the sewer entrance can now be seen. Also, you can see this grass right here on the One X, and you can kinda see the grass on the 360, but it's extremely blurry. Zooming into the tall tower, the aliasing is worse on the Windows XP version, and the 360 PS3 games look pretty equal. The Xbox One X is looking very good, but that is due to the 4K resolution, and my Windows 10 versions, as I said, are playing at 1080p. But still, the Xbox One X really did increase the anti-aliasing, as that tower has zero jagged edges. The draw distance is a bit low on the 360, PS3, and Xbox One X. And the modded one has all of this extra grass with the mod that, well, it adds extra grass. Looking at just PS3 and Xbox 360 again, because these are always my two favorite to compare, the PS3 looks a lot better here. The road and the bridge is way more crisp. Bringing in Windows 10 version, all of them look great to me, but when we get here, the 360 is lacking in texture detail. Windows 10 is so smooth looking. Back to draw distance, even on the Windows 10 I get pop-ins, and the PS3 and 360 get this odd pop-in. Move forward a bit, the PC gets the rest of the dock pulled in. Then moving forward more, the PlayStation 3's tower and walkway pop in. As we move on, the PS3 will get more of the distant walkway to pop in, and then right after that, the rest of the dock is all rendered in. A little after that, the 360 will get the tower's walkway, then the tower. Then after sitting for a while, the rest eventually popped in on the 360. Installing all of these mods really does improve the game, and I'm not really showing it much here. All you really see is some color changing. The PC has some great view distance, as you can see an NPC walking way down there. On this scene, the modded has an improved tree shadow and more grass. Also, this light post, there are light posts added throughout the roads to add some light during the night. The 360's road is a bit blurry, but there are some bushes by the well that the PlayStation 3 doesn't show. Here is a lamp lighting up the road. It's pretty sweet. And here is another lamp lighting up the road. Taking a look at this guard, the Windows XP doesn't show off any bloom effect, which is fine because I hate it and I turned it off. The 360 and the PS3 are pretty comparable and they both offer way too much bloom. It's so bright. The Windows 10 has some bloom, but it's utilized properly here with the HDR enabled. Modded version has a nice new face and it's a big improvement too. The armor is higher resolution, but it is hard to tell. Xbox One X is the same as the 360, but it's a lot sharper in detail and it looks pretty good. Man, I absolutely love this game. It is so fun. I personally like it more than Skyrim, but I also love Skyrim. I didn't see any issues playing this game on any platform. Sure, you get some low drops on the PS3 and Xbox 360, but nothing that would keep you from having an awesome time. For me, I'd play fully modded PC, and this video isn't really showing you just how much better a modded Oblivion is, so do yourself a favor and YouTube some videos. You'll see how cool they are. Well, that's all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It was one heck of a side-by-side to make. Please leave me a comment, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.